A highly unusual leak of a Supreme Court document is sending shockwaves from Washington, D.C. all the way to a clinic in Brooklyn Park. The disclosure of a Supreme Court draft opinion hints at the possible overturning of Roe v. Wade, the landmark 1972 High Court ruling that legalized abortion. DFL lawmakers who represent the Northwest suburbs have sounded off on the possibility that Roe v. Wade could be overturned. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, whose district includes Crystal, Robbinsdale, Golden Valley, and New Hope, says overturning Roe would put the lives of women across the country at risk. It would fly in the face of decades of precedent and the overwhelming majority of public opinion. And they will not stop here, expand the court. Another local lawmaker describes the impact such a decision could have on the state of Minnesota. State Representative Cedric Frazier of New Hope writes, with this decision from the Supreme Court of the United States, Minnesota could soon become the only state in the upper Midwest where people can safely and legally access abortion care. A local clinic in Brooklyn Park is also bracing for the possibility. Reporter Delane Cleveland heard from local representatives of Planned Parenthood who share what a possible Supreme Court overturning would mean for them.
Shannon, if the draft that was leaked this week does in fact become the official decision of the Supreme Court, abortion would still remain legal in Minnesota, but it would immediately become illegal in states like North and South Dakota. Officials from Planned Parenthood say that clinics like this one in Brooklyn Park could then become inundated with patients who can't get abortions in their home states.
It is important to underscore that an abortion ban is not an abortion ban for all people. It is only an abortion ban for those who lack the means to travel to a state where abortion is safe and accessible. And that is one of the true moral outrages of this situation.
Officials from Planned Parenthood organized a virtual press conference this morning to address the concerns that the Supreme Court could overturn Roe v. Wade. They say that their clinics, like this one in Brooklyn Park, could see an increase of women seeking abortion services between 10 and 25%. That would be exacerbated by the fact that Planned Parenthood is suffering from the same worker shortages facing the healthcare industry.
In the short term, as states see a surge, we may actually be at a point where we're not going to be able to meet all the demand.
As for what's next, Planned Parenthood says that all of their clinics will remain open until the Supreme Court decision becomes official. In the meantime, they said that they'll continue to raise funds and figure out ways to provide transportation to women in states like North and South Dakota who want to come to Minnesota for an abortion. In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
The Brooklyn Center Police Department is using something unique to protect people riding in the back of squad cars. Reporter Sonia Goins explains the purpose and how it could eliminate injuries.
We just keep a stash here, as well as have some out on the street.
This equipment is not used for a boxing ring, but instead the Brooklyn Center Police Department.
I think we have probably 6 or 8 right now.
Since 2019, the police department has been using headgear on some passengers riding in the back seat.
One of our officers came to us with an idea on, hey, can we use these to help protect some of the people that we might have arrested or detained that are trying to hurt themselves?
Brooklyn Center Police say people sometimes try to hurt themselves by banging their head against the partition or even the window, potentially causing great bodily harm.
It might be people with mental illness or in some kind of emotional crisis. It could be people seeking attention. Sometimes people believe if they're hurt, they can't go to jail. They have to go to the hospital, which is true.
Commander Garrett Fleslin says Brooklyn Center Police have used the headgear several dozen times, and it seems to be working.
A lot of times, it kind of takes the wind out of their sails, and they'll stop hitting their head.
The headgear gets old and worn out, so the police department has to replace the head protection.
We can only use them so long they get soiled or damaged, and then we'll replace them.
In the past, officers had to hold a person's head to prevent them from hurting themselves. Police say this is just another tool in their toolbox to keep people safe.
They've just become one of our essentially disposable pieces of technology that we'll use to help keep people safe.
In Brooklyn Center, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Brooklyn Center Police say they will not use the headgear on someone if it will impede their breathing or if there is some kind of injury. A shortage of lifeguards is causing the city of Maple Grove to make changes to its city code. Maple Grove will now allow swimming without the presence of lifeguards at Weaver Lake Beach. The change was made at this week's city council meeting. The city did research and found that many community beach operations throughout the metro either have limited or no lifeguards on duty. According to city documents, guarding the community center pools would take priority over the beach. An army of volunteers set out to make significant improvements on Tuesday to a ball field in Brooklyn Park. The Minnesota Twins teamed up with the Toro Foundation to spearhead efforts to revitalize Northwoods Park. More than 125 volunteers signed up to help, including TC Bear. The work included improving the pitching mound and making soil improvements to help the grass. It was actually the Twins that reached out to Brooklyn Park to determine what field needed work, and that's how Northwoods Park was picked.
We want to make sure that kids keep playing baseball and softball because of the life lessons that they can learn. And we want them to come and have fun. It's been a long 2 years of the pandemic, and making sure that kids have a safe place to play is what we're all about.
The Toro Foundation and the Twins Community Fund each donated $10,000 to Brooklyn Park's recreation and park programs.